Well, they're going to need Triton to definitely make some plays here, and that 18 kills might have to bump it up to 22 because you're going up against Sentinels. Frosty, Royal 2, LethuL, and SnakeBite. LethuL on screen to start things off. What do you want to see out of Oxygen to possibly pull off the upset?
They're gonna need to play together like they've done before. They've all got individual skill. Triton obviously being that playmaker on the squad, but this Sentinel squad, they're part of the Elite Three. The Elite Three being Cloud9, Sentinels, and Optic, and all of them went 3-0. But a couple people talked about the fact that Sentinels did drop 2 maps in their pool. But if you look at the pools, Sentinels definitely had, I would say, the most difficult pool out of them all. So that does not take anything away from Sentinels. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially on Live Fire, one of their best maps.
The coach of Oxygen Esports, Trey Tri, said this is the best team that they've put here in the tournament. And I'm going to have to agree with them, but that best team is going to go 3 down because the better team, Sentinels, coming out, sneaking in, getting the slays that they need, and now with more progression already adding to that here for Hill 1.
I really like this positioning by LethuL here. He's got the heat wave and close quarter combat inside of this hill. Positioning greatly. They're already halfway through this first one. Just got to bar off maybe one more wave of defense here, and they will secure it.
But the best defense is a good offense, so Oxygen Esports look to challenge, but LethuL absolutely putting Boam down, and with that, one more round of slays, and Oxygen Esports are going to look to punt this hill and move on to the second one. The nades are starting to fly. LethuL somehow able to stay alive. Off screen, we see SnakeBite finding the kill onto Triton. Now pinging out the tower side. Looks like Oxygen are already punting it out. Sentinels going to get out of the hill until just the moment that SnakeBite was in position, and now you're seeing Sentinels look to pull off the break of Oxygen Esports defense.
Something I really like about Sentinels right there is as that first hill was being capped, you saw the rotation from SnakeBite and Royal 2 already on that C hill, but as I say that, Sentinels go 3 down.
Oxygen Esports first ones into this tower side defense and looking to defend it well. Sentinels now look to spawn up over toward the A side and create the break. Overshield in the hands of Oxygen. Triton watching the B side of the hill, and now Nemassist looking to join the party.
Oxygen with that first overshield. Nemassist been in the hill for a little bit, but unfortunately he's got to play his life. You see all of Sentinels flying through here, and he does just that. Plays his life. 2 Sentinels players are down, so we just got to look for some support from his teammates and goes to the top tower to get just that. But I like the position by Sentinels here in the backside of the tower. Unfortunately, it's not going to bode them well, as they're both going to end up going down. Oxygen Esports doing a little bit of slaying here. This is what you like to see.
Oftentimes, you see players sitting that hill towards death, but Nemassist, high IQ, backing down, staying alive, and finally he's able to go down, but not after multiple rounds of slays and excellent hill time in the favor of Oxygen Esports. Now it's Triton and Boam getting back-to-back kills. Triton going to end up going down, and this next battle so pivotal. Royal 2 putting the Oxygen Esports 3 down.
That's one thing I love about Sentinels is that push up on the map comes in unison, right? There's a player at top center crossfiring you on C plat, and then you've got another player on the nest from Sentinels crossfiring as well. That's going to be Royal 2. And because of that, that break comes so quickly for this Sentinel squad.
They're going to try to stay alive over toward the zone. They do have control early on here. The 4v4 push comes in. Nemassist going to fly out and win his pip against LethuL. Big shots in, 2 down goes Sentinels. Now we're on board with Frosty. He has to win this battle, sends Boam packing and gets away while one shot, but Oxygen Esports with a great job of keeping Sentinels back, and Frosty getting icy with the jukes.
What you said there about that 4-man push is exactly right. I talked about Royal 2 singing that nest side, but that 4-man push can be really overwhelming to only 2 Sentinels players. That overshield does go down on the map, so the first one went to Oxygen Esports. If they get this next one, they can really make an impact here. They're down 1 hill, but looking to tie it up.
Both the teams' progression so close to each other right now. Frosty does have the tower side control, but doesn't have the overshield. That's Chris Common coming in, making uncommon plays. Trying to deal with this player over toward the nest, gets a bit of help, and with that, once again, Oxygen gaining control.
Nemassist is a player I'm highlighting right now, having an incredible start to this game, 10-6 already. And passing that halfway point, Oxygen Esports have also taken control of the power weapons, which is going to help them utilize that back line. Nemassist looking for those back players right now as he pushes top center.
Nemassist needs to make a play with the heat wave. Puts Royal 2 down to one shot, quickly gets out of dodge. Boam gonna follow up over toward the sandbag side. The heat wave comes in once again. SnakeBite will go down because of it. Once again, looking for the double. Not able to get the kill. And with that, heat wave now gonna change hands. I believe it was Royal 2 that was able to get away with it. Frosty not able to get away with his life. And both of these teams fighting for this control over the second zone.
That's how important timing is right there. Nemassist being a little too early to the punch with that heat wave, not really able to make much of an impact, but his teammates did. They get Sentinels 3 down and now looking to capitalize on that. Very close to tying this hill game up.
Triton on screen, able to find a kill onto one. That's Frosty. With sniper rifle coming up very soon, Oxygen Esports are very close to grabbing that and the overshield. It looks like Sentinels are going to look to try to create the break out of the A side. Royal 2, the first one to make it in, but Triton spots him out with the heat wave.
Oh, they tie it up 1-1 here, but 2 go down, make that 3 for Sentinels. Oxygen Esports definitely clutching it up, and you saw they've already gotten 2 overshields in a row. They're probably going to be able to get this third as well as they get the kills necessary. That's 3 overshields in a row for Oxygen Esports.
Oxygen Esports playing excellent Team Halo right now, coming in, always playing as a duo. And with that, they're out teamworking Sentinels. Not even about the individual battles, it's about the plays that they're able to make together. But as I say that, Sentinels putting Oxygen 3 down. They won't be breathing for long. 8 seconds on respawn. Sentinels take control.
Royal 2 having a bit of a slow game here, 6-11. We know what he's capable of. We've seen it many, many times before. Look for that assist column to start to rise, as well as that kill column on his stat sheet. Here comes the push from Oxygen.
LethuL forced to back down out of the zone here. Meanwhile, his teammates are netting value. Back-to-back nade kills going in favor of Sentinels, and because of that, Oxygen Esports now spawning away over toward the B side. SnakeBite gonna bait this side of the map out. The nades start to come in. Frosty off the screen, taking down Boam. Royal 2 following it up with a kill of his own, and that's the moment that SnakeBite looks to strike, and this hill was all Sentinels.
See, Oxygen Esports doing a really good job of trying to stay alive, but when you have the communication of the general SnakeBite, all those kills, all those one-shot kills will be spotted by him. Look at him set up for this next hill. They've got a push coming from the nest side. They've got to be careful of this. Right now, SnakeBite is all alone in this hill.
Trying to stay alive is a different story than actually doing it, and Sentinels executing well here on that third hill. Now we're seeing Frosty go down over toward the key door. A third one gonna fall for Oxygen Esports, leaving Nemassist by himself. A clean sweep, so that should be hill time and overshield going in favor of Sentinels, but watch out, Oxygen come off the spawn.
This is huge for Sentinels right now. This is their first overshield of the game. Unfortunately, the nades do come through and cut it to half, but Sentinels being up 2-1 in this game with no overshields as of just now is a pretty tall feat and a very positive fact if you're looking for them. LethuL, his OS all but gone, but he does have an angle on this hill trying to defend his teammate SnakeBite, who's sitting in it.
Double push coming out of Oxygen Esports. SnakeBite left on his own over toward the overshield side of the map, and with that, he's going to be wiped out, and Oxygen executing that break to perfection, and they know that that push most likely is going to come from the C side. They're watching it, but hold on, Sentinels throwing a curveball. They're coming out A.
Sentinels know they just need to play this slow. They only need 2 ticks to win this. But Triton has to be stopped. The man on the top of the kill sheet here. And it's because of kills like that. This hill's still not capped by Sentinels. Oxygen's doing a really good job of outslaying them as they push.
Challenge comes in, and once again, Oxygen Esports losing their numbers, and Sentinels just 1 tick away from stealing it. 3-1 lead going out of Sentinels. They're now 1 hill away from taking game number 1 in the series. Oxygen have played well, but Sentinels simply playing better.
3-1 the score now. Oxygen have to do something here. That first hill was acquired because they were able to push as a unit, and the beta switch ability that I constantly talk about was being utilized. But now it looks like just Sentinels doing a better job of slaying. You see Royal 2 starting to heat up here. We talked about him having a slow start. You never see him have a slow start and not pick it up. And look at him right now. He's gonna have the sniper in hand, tosses over the heat wave. Sentinels have full control of the power weapons.
And with Oxygen Esports finding the slays that they need, I mean, I'm looking at the scoreboard now. It's fairly close, but sadly the score line is not. And with that,
Timer.
they're not able to put it in. And 3 seconds left, and that's it. Sentinels now playing Slayer 2.0. And it's crazy to me because I think Oxygen Esports played so much better than that score line dictates. They were finding those slays. They were doing almost everything possible for them to come out and be successful. But Sentinels' timing and just execution simply was much better.
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with Sentinels kind of heating up in that first game. You know, they've been waiting a little while in the winners quarterfinals, and you saw, you know, World 2, I believe he was, I think, 6-11 at some point, and ended up being 15-15. So when World 2 heats up, it's going to be real difficult to break any setup when you've got him watching the cross every single time on those Strongholds or this King of the Hills.
You're taking a look at some of the replays here, and Sentinels were able to come out with a 3-1 win, but it was a long fought battle. Not many times do I see live fire actually go to time like that.
Yeah.
Most of the time we see a 4-1, 4-2, but you saw how hard they were fighting over that second hill. You saw how hard they were fighting over that third, and then eventually the fourth, which wasn't really much of a fight there because Sentinels just slayed around it. It was tough. Oxygen Esports need to come out with that same level of intensity, the same level of coordination if they want to take this game to Slayer, which has, as good as I saw them playing game number 1, I'm a believer. Sentinels obviously won that game, but Oxygen Esports definitely had their moments.
Yeah, and I think it was because of those overshields in the beginning, Tony. They got 3 overshields in a row. That is Oxygen Esports, right? Once Sentinels got that 4th overshield, the game just started to spiral out of control. Those nades and that damage that they put in that overshield could have been a kill to open up the map, but because LethuL had that overshield inside of the cuts, he was able to soak up all of that damage, and that kill was not awarded to them. If they can continue here on Recharge Slayer to control that camo, get that shock rifle in hand, keep it out of the hands of World 2, we could potentially see a win in this Slayer game.
Common coming out with the big 18 kills and 10 assists. They're going to need that level of performance out of him. They're going to need Triton to step it up as well. It is not easy fighting an uphill battle like going at it against Sentinels, but Oxygen Esports knew they were coming in to a challenge to begin with, and I think they're ready to accept it. Recharge is going to be game number 2. What are your keys to success here?
Like I said, that camo is very, very important. And Slayer is all about kind of holding one side of the map, making sure that shock rifle is utilized, pushing as a team. Slayer is all about at the least getting those trades. If you get a kill, make sure if your team's getting killed, you get the trade. You make sure it's a 1-to-1, because if you don't, those numbers start to add up, start to double. And then at one point, you're down 10 kills and there's no return. There's no way to come back. So if Oxygen Esports can keep it close in the Slay game, make sure they're trading kills, make sure they're in a position to do so, and it's all about positioning, then potentially they win this Slayer game. We talk about it all the time. Chemistry, not 100% needed in a Slayer. You can come out, win your pivs, and potentially win the game. This game definitely favors Oxygen if they want to win one.
Oxygen Esports going to need to step it up right here, right now. And map 2 begins here. We talk about that shock rifle. We talk about the camouflage. Don't forget about the equipment that can definitely give you the edge up in a fight, like combining the grapple with the sword. There's no time like the present for you to pull off an upset here in the quarterfinals.
This is it. Game number 2, Sentinels is up 1-0 against Oxygen. And Oxygen have fought really hard in that game number 1. They've definitely got the potential to win this game. Can they pull it through is the question.
On board with LethuL right off the rip. The shots go in. Common able to stay alive. Can't say the same for LethuL. The back smack coming in. Watch your backside. Triton's on ya. 2 down goes Sentinels. The third one gonna fall, and a 5-1 start out of Oxygen Esports.
Keep in mind, the loser of this series right here will be playing Pioneers in that elimination bracket. So it's a must-win right now. 6-1, the score line. Oxygen leading it up already.
Shoot, leading it up. They're dominating right now. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And of course, as soon as I open my big mouth, Sentinels come in, put Oxygen Esports 4 down, and now they're exactly what we thought they were. All 5 kills split between SnakeBite and LethuL, but Frosty has the shock rifle.
It all comes down to those starting strats, right? A lot of these teams, a lot of these lower seeded teams, Oxygen being seed 10, right? They come in with a great starting strat where they're able to wipe a #1 seeded team like Sentinels, but the problem is keeping that momentum and making sure that those mistakes don't continue throughout the game. After you get that opening strat, if you can somehow not make any mistakes after that, you can extend the lead. But unfortunately for Oxygen Esports, Sentinels are only down by 2.
We'll see how well they continue this. SnakeBite finding the kill, 4-2 right now. Meanwhile, on the opposing end, Frosty 0-3. Surprising to see that out of the young Slayer. I'm sure he's going to bounce back. It's still early in the game. Oxygen Esports still having a bit of control here. It looks like SnakeBite going to slide in, puts a little bit of damage onto Comet. Immediately going to back down. And with this camouflage coming up, I'm liking the positioning out of Sentinels. They're ready to collapse.
Yeah, they've got a really good hold here, but Oxygen Esports actually just broke that by killing LethuL on the batteries. They get 2 on Sentinels, but like I said before, the trades are so very important, and Oxygen are going to get 2 of their own. 14-12 the scoreline. Oxygen keeping up with this Sentinel squad right now.
Frosty using that repulse to take height and almost able to get away, but Common anticipating the movement well. World 2 coming in with a double kill. Now he's gonna take height. Everybody making repulse plays, but it's World 2 that's able to get away with the sword. Nemassist trying to stay alive with that shock rifle. These power weapons will be the difference maker.
Watch Nemassist at the top right. He's got to stay alive here. With his shock rifle in hand, he can really make an impact in this game. But I like World 2's positioning at this point in time. He's got help on the pipe side, and he's going to push with that help. You see, always, these players on Sentinels have an angle on each other. Always available to help at any moment in time. World 2, unfortunately, going to take a lot of damage, so he has to back off, plays his life as Frosty dies.
Ooh. Royalty coming in the house, or World 2, whatever you want to call it. Making everyone looking like peasants with that sword. And now off the screen, we see Frosty picking up a double kill, taking down Common. World 2 gonna bait out this side. Boam comes in, so with the plasma pistol. What a play by Boam.
Great 2 push by Oxygen on that pipe side, especially with that plasma pistol in hand. You see Boam on the top of the glass as well. He can hold this position. Oxygen can take this lead back as they're down by 2 right now in this game.
And now we're seeing the game slow down once again. Oxygen Esports trying to eat away at that 2-kill gap. Boam making sure nobody coming over towards his flank, but looks like Sentinel's actually pushing up right up towards the strong side, breaking through the gold side. Triton puts that sword to work on the feed, and Boam just looking for a way to enter the fight. I think he's found it. Found the one shot. World 2 ends up going right at him. SnakeBite in the sight, sends him back, gets himself a pseudo double, and with that, Sentinels will end up going 3 down, and Oxygen Esports regain the lead.
This is a great play by Oxygen right there, and a great play by Boam. Sitting there, watching the pipes pushing, getting the isolated player on SnakeBite, making sure he gets the kill on him as well, and he got 2 as well. He's holding his pipes so well right now. He's at top gold, making a huge impact on the game. He ends up dropping off. I don't like the play to drop off here, because now he's going to get cross-shot, but ends up staying alive on this B-box.
And with that, Boam was going to be forced to back down. Looks like that glass player is going to be picked up by another member of Oxygen. As Boam slowing it down, looking for the flank, check those corners. And the tower side being clear, Common finds the pick onto Frosty. The sword should end up in the hands of Oxygen Esports if they choose to commit to it, but he can't. The pressure's coming in and his teammates need his help. He's gonna take a center route right away, find himself a kill, and now it's Oxygen Esports still up by 5 kills.
I like how you said that someone else took the spot on top glass. That's a very important thing in the game of Halo, is to be able to adapt and take positions when a player wants to push up or go for a kill or go for a pick. Frosty, this is not good. He's got the shock rifle in hand. Be careful.
The playmaker, the MVP, Frosty, already having 5 kills to his name, even 9 assists to go along with this. So love that scoreline coming out of Frosty. And with this shock rifle, he's not looking for any more assists. He's looking for headshots with the damage. Gonna force him to back down. Nemassist should be on the chase. Somehow able to stay alive, but can he find the kills that he needs with this power weapon?
One of the most important things to do when you have a power-up in your hands like Frosty, number 1, stay alive, but number 2, reposition so you can get perfects like that on multiple targets. They've got to take Frosty out here. He's gonna get this game out of hand, but Oxygen somehow holding this 2-kill lead, Tony.
Yeah, love what I'm seeing out of Oxygen Esports until Nemassist gets peeled. Frosty ends up with a double kill. Don't challenge him. Triton can get it too. The body shot's gonna come in. Not able to get the kill, but the assist gonna pop up. Sentinels gaining control, gaining momentum, and Oxygen might have breathed their last breath.
I said it before the game. One of the keys to success is making sure that Oxygen gets these power weapons in their hand, the shock rifle being the game changer. On recharge, they let it slip. It's now in the hands of the player that it's going to utilize this to continue to rise on this lead, 35-33. Sentinels finally taking over.
Oxygen Esports only down by 2 kills, though. This is very much still possible. We have Frosty on screen, still getting value out of this shock rifle. Meanwhile, his teammates just come from his back. Common is sick of it, though. Common goes in for the challenge, finally able to get the shock rifle player down, but ends up losing his life as well. Triton gonna go down. LethuL immediately taking height here over toward the A side. How important is this next round of slays?
It's extremely important, but the fact that they got that shock rifle out of Frosty's hands is even more important. The trade did come through, but you gotta talk a balance of value right there. Common did lose his life, but Frosty no longer the shock rifle. And now it's up to them, Oxygen, to get that shock rifle in their hand and make impact with it. 39-34, you're running out of time. Camel coming up in 19 seconds.
And that camouflage definitely going to be the difference maker here. Oxygen Esports down by 6 kills. They kept it close for a while, but now things are getting a bit out of hand. The nades start to fly. LethuL still holding on to this A side. Oxygen all over the C. And when that camouflage comes up, it's going to force both of these teams to get a bit out of position.
Yeah, but look at SnakeBite. He's in the top glass right now. He's got a cross shot on anyone that goes for that camo. They're going to send BoamX over to the glass side to take him out, and it forces SnakeBite to move away, but that camo has been taken by Roll too.
Yeah, I want to say he was even able to grapple it away too. He never left that secret door side, and now SnakeBite using the true skill gap, the Needler. Let me tell you, man, it's a tough weapon right there. Fear the pink mist, says SnakeBite.
I love what I'm seeing out of Frosty. Started this game really slow, but we all know when it comes to Frosty, he's going to make things happen. 12, 11, and 12, a triple-double for him.
SnakeBite is on the chase, looking to put his fangs into one. Not able to get the pick onto Triton. A pivotal kill comes out of him, keeping their hopes alive. Oxygen Esports recognize that every single life matters at the moment. They have to value every single one. Every death inches Sentinels closer to putting them down 0-2 in the series.
Nemassist made a big mistake right there, okay? You're challenging the best long-range player in the game in World 2. Now you're no shields. The collapse comes in from SnakeBite, and he's gonna go down. This opens up the entire map, and when Sentinels only need 3 kills, you can't make plays like that.
World 2 on screen, goes in for the challenge, ends up being knocked back by Boam. Frosty coming in to clean up the pieces. Finds himself Boam. Now comes in with the shock rifle once again. Only 2 more kills needed, but Common gets shredded. 1 more kill for Sentinels.
Frosty's gonna look for it. 49-40, Sentinels looking to take the second game to go up 2-0 in the series. Like I said, the loser of this series is gonna be playing Pioneers in the elimination bracket. You see right now, Frosty wants to get that kill. Sentinels clean it up, and that's gonna be game number 2 going to the Sentinels. 2-0 is the lead.
Can't say I'm surprised by the scoreline there. Sentinels up 2-0 as far as the series, but I will say I am surprised that Oxygen are putting up one hell of a fight. I mean, they're obviously down 0-2 in the series, but so much control, so many slays going toe-to-toe with the first seeded Sentinel, the team that just won Kansas City. Oxygen Esports are playing well, and I think if they keep riding this out, they fix a few more mistakes, they can make a run either maybe in this series or at least throughout the lower bracket. Oxygen Esports are showing that they're here to stay.
You said it right there, Tony. Stop making mistakes. They made 2 or 3 that game. You say 2 or 3, yes. Literally 2 or 3 mistakes cost them this Slayer game. The first one was letting Frosty have the shock rifle. The second one, letting Royal 2 get that camo. And then, of course, the third, taking too much damage in a fight, allowing the push and the break to come from Sentinels. Those 3 mistakes are fixed. This is a much different game, and Oxygen could have tied the series. But once again, you're not going to get practice like this the practice they got against the Sentinels against any other team that you scrim. It's the better teams that take advantage of those mistakes and are able to capitalize them, and they really expose your weaknesses as a team. So this is great practice for Oxygen and a great film to watch later.
No way you could replicate this type of matchup in scrims. It only comes for this level of competition. Now, Oxygen Esports getting valuable experience. Sentinels up 2-0 so far in the series. I'm actually hearing from word that G1 winning out their series as well, 3-1.
Wow.
As we take a look at the scoreboard, Frosty and Roll 2, 15 kills apiece. Frosty with 11 assists. Mind you, he started off 0-1-4.
Yeah.
So he didn't start off the game too well, but ends up 15-12 with 11 assists to go along with it. Frosty always bouncing back.
Yeah, Frosty's been the main slayer in this game. He is absolutely teared it up, and you know, you love to see it. We're seeing him. He's actually at the bottom of the list in terms of pools. I believe he's 9th out of the 10, but I mean, that right there shows you he had a tough pool. The Sentinels had a tough pool, and this game seemed a little bit tough for them as well. They close it out. But like you said, Oxygen is an incredible squad. I really want to see these squads, you know, not change and stay together. So many team changes are happening tournament after tournament. There comes a time where you have to find a style of players. You have a couple of things you need to change, a couple of stylistic things you need to change, some mistakes you need to learn from, and then you can build a great squad that can contend for that top 8 spot.
The moment that Oxygen Esports acquired Triton, I started becoming a fan, because Triton was a big pickup. Then you steal away BoamX and Nemassist over from Built by Gamers, and I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, you started off the game well. You had a little bit of a dip as far as success, and now I'm like, hold on, this team looking good, and this is their first major tournament that they're playing together. You're saying they shouldn't? They're saying they shouldn't break up and find a new team? I'm thinking, why would you? You made it out second in your pool. You're out here going toe-to-toe with Sentinels and looking good while doing it, despite obviously not having the lead in the series. But I think if this is your first major tournament together, you have nothing but success in your future. Watch out for Oxygen Esports.
You know what's crazy, Tony, is that Triton, you know, being previously on Complexity, was ready to just join teams for fun. He said, I'm done competing at a high level. I just want to play for fun. I'm going to This is not fun, Triton. You're playing for $125,000 right now, and you're doing a dang good job of doing that. He is playing phenomenally. I love to see this out of Triton, and I agree with you. He's the player of focus for me right now. The entire team playing great as well, but Triton has definitely stepped up, and I love to see it.
Yeah, he's incredible. Let me say he's not having fun. I'm having fun right now. I hope you're having fun
too. Yeah,
we're watching Sentinels and Oxygen Esports. We're over here. We're ultimate fans. I promise you, if I wasn't working this event, I'd be watching it for sure. I'm loving every moment of it right now. And hopefully Oxygen Esports are able to take at least one on the board. Hey, maybe 2. Maybe we do end up going into a game 5. Every reverse sweep starts with a game 3. Oxygen Esports, show us what you got.
You know what, Tony? I came into this event today and I said, after watching some of the games, I'm not counting anyone out until I see that score 3-0 or whatever it is. I want to see the score first. No one is counted out. There's been so many reverse sweeps, Pioneers and United. No more of that. I am not predicting any team going down because any team has a chance here. And you know what that comes from? It comes from pulling everything out of the tank, like you said earlier. It comes from getting the mental together and playing your absolute best game. Speaking of best game, Rain and Rhino, those guys are playing the best I've ever seen them play. Anytime the observers switch to their screen, perfect. Jeff Stites are coming out every single time. They've got incredible shots today. They're playing phenomenal, and I think everyone in this tournament is going to prove the same. They're going to play their absolute best and make it happen.
And they're going to have to. And meanwhile, you brought up United, G1 obviously emptying the tank in their series, coming out on top versus G2, arguably the favorite, especially when bringing in Barcode from the ANZ region. G1 looking absolutely phenomenal and looking like they're ready to make a run, past the quarters into the semis and maybe even the winners bracket finals. We're getting down to nitty gritty here. As soon there'll only be 4 teams left in the winners bracket.
Isn't that nuts? I'm so excited. Like you said, I'm a fan too. Like, I'm over here like just a big smile on my face. I love Halo to death. I mean, G2, you talk about them losing to G1 3-1, right? But they're going to be playing against Complexity or EXO. And the reason I say or is because those guys are actually in a game 5 right now. Complexity 2, EXO 2 as well. They're in a game 5. So whoever wins that, and it's crazy to say about EXO, they're popping off, will be facing G2 in that elimination bracket.
Okay, all right. So I mean, we really are getting out. So you know, we already know the winner of this match is going to play against G1 in the winners semifinals. At that point, the winner of that makes it to the winners finals, guaranteed top 3. On the other side of the bracket here in the semis, you have Optic going up against Cloud9. That's a huge matchup, by the way. Can't wait to keep up with that one. Optic and Cloud9, the winner of those two will meet the winner of these to make it to the winners finals. We are getting oh my,
it's crazy.
$125,000 on the line. I feel like it's so early on Saturday, and this tournament it's going a little quick. Let's slow it down. I'm trying to appreciate it a little bit.
You gotta try and live in the moment. It's hard. It's hard when it's a moment like this, especially for me. My first time casting in the HCS, and we're already in Saturday. It's like, oh, come on. Can we just go a little longer? Let's get every game a game 5. But you know, something about Optic and Cloud9. Tony, what do you think about Cloud9? You were able to watch them. What are you thinking about this Bound pickup? I feel like he has moments of brilliance, but at the same time, you know, sometimes he's having a little bit of a rough game.
Cloud9 looking incredible. So do Auction Esports, but so do Sentinels.
Let's go.
We're up 2-0 in the series, and I'm actually hearing that game number 3, map number 3, is loading up. And we're about to hop in. Sentinels versus Auction Esports. Oxygen fighting for their winners bracket quarterfinals lives right now, because Sentinels are 1 win away from knocking them down to the elimination bracket.
Tony, I love seeing your shoulders go up and down. I just know that means Tony is excited, and when Tony is excited, we're gonna have a phenomenal cast. We're getting into game number 3 right now. Sentinels lead 2-0. Oxygen have to do something. Streets, Oddball. They don't do something right now, they will be going to the losers bracket to play against the Pioneers. You don't want to see that if you're Oxygen. Here we go, Tony. We're starting this off right away.
And if you would have asked me before today if Auction Esports stand a chance against Sentinels on Streets, one of the most punishing maps that we have here in the league, I literally would have instantly said, not a chance. They're going down immediately. But this newfound Auction Esports, I'm liking them a lot. And with that, they immediately put Sentinels 3 down. Boam already making his way onto the purple side street. Oxygen gaining a bit of control here on the map early.
And you mentioned that. Oxygen versus Sentinels on the streets. This is one of Sentinels' best maps right here. In all slayers and objectives. So we'll see if Oxygen's able to fight against them. We don't have enough stats on this Oxygen roster because they're brand new. But we know Sentinels very strong in this game type. 0-0 the score so far, though. They're looking for control, feeling each other out. 3 go down for Oxygen.
Oxygen losing all of their resources and their numbers. That ball going to be fed over towards LethuL, who's ready to bring it onto the subway side. Meanwhile, we have Sentinels already putting pressure over toward the PD side spawners. This is a lockdown. This is the setup being held early by Sentinels.
Here we go. We see that purple side once again. The purple side perimeter being held. World 2 has that shotgun, but not going to be able to utilize it. This is a good break for Oxygen. They get 2 dead. They can continue on, but look at the rotation from LethuL here.
That ball was over toward the subway side, just a moment ago, and somehow able to rotate it all the way toward the Bravo side of the map. However, Oxygen break it up, and a 29 run by Sentinels being stopped, and Auction Esports now having the opportunity to stop Sentinels to lock this map down. They're gonna move into a subway side setup of their own.
I just got word in my ear that EXO reverse sweep complexity 3-2, and we'll be moving on in the elimination bracket to play G2 Esports. Wow, this tournament has so many crazy turns, it's insane.
Reverse sweep coming in already in the tournament. We're gonna find out if Oxygen Esports can execute one of their own, but with them not having control and Sentinels up 43-19, this is gonna be really tough for Auction Esports to quickly go down. Sentinels already riding it out. Triton does end up getting a pick onto SnakeBite off screen, and we're still fighting over those rockets. No team able to get control just yet.
Right there was so big. All right, Nemassist was waiting for Frosty. He knew Frosty was in his sights. He wanted to get the kill onto Frosty. He did. But then you saw Royal 2 coming up, I believe it was SnakeBite coming up and getting the cleanup onto him. And because of that, LethuL is going to have rockets in hand. Incredible job by Sentinels.
LethuL looking to make a play with the rockets, waiting for Triton to push around that corner. He'll be coming around the mountain, and he'll be putting him down. LethuL making plays, cannot commit over towards his ball just yet because he knows that Boam is coming in over towards the subway side, challenging LethuL, ends up going down, and with that, Oxygen having a bit of a problem going 4 down, getting wiped out. Sentinels stealing that ball and now putting even more valuable points on the board.
That shows just how good Sentinels is. They get LethuL down, they go for a 4-man push or a 3-man push, and Sentinels just squashes it instantly. Because of that, now Frosty does have the ball, and he also has this weapon in hand. And a lot of people sleep on this Stalker rifle. 2 shots get someone down to no shields, an easy cleanup for anybody. An incredible weapon on this map, not utilized enough from what I see in matchmaking, but these pros know what they're doing. They utilize the resources, and they do it well.
Frosty now gonna have a turn with the ball, and this is not looking good. Oxygen Esports must be feeling the pressure. They have to extend. They have to stop Sentinels from scoring here. And with Nemassist and Bone going down, Triton gonna join them. Frosty having the high IQ, drop that ball, finish the slay off with the Stalker, and then get right back to scoring points. That might have been the nail in the coffin here for round 1.
Yeah, this is the pure definition right here from Frosty as they clean up that first round of being able to do it all. 9 and 4 in the game, the most ball time on his team. That is a player who will do what needs to be done, and he does it so well.
This is it. Active Oxygen Esports, they need a win right here. They need something. They need some kind of momentum, and I think a hot start, a 3 down, maybe might serve them well. Nemassist actually going right after the ball despite being a 4v4. SnakeBite gonna try to get value out of the Sentinel beam, cheeking away at the damage of 1, ends up stripping away Triton of his life. 2 down for each of the members, so a pivotal battle here. Nemassist needs to close this out and is not able to do so. World 2 gonna put him down, and now Sentinels are looking to get aggressive.
The reason that ball they went for that ball that is Oxygen Esports is because they got that rocket pickup right at the start of the game. They got those rockets so very quick. Unfortunately, not really able to convert with them, and because of that, they end up going 2 dead. But then now they get Sentinels 2 dead, so they can clean up these next couple kills, which Nemassist does. They can get some ball time.
On board with SnakeBite, the general. Staying here over toward the A side, waiting for his teammates to come up, and now you're gonna see a double push coming toward the B side, run into a double defense, but Boam gonna be the first one to go down. Nemassist trying to get away, the commando's out, and looks like Nemassist is down, and now the Bulldog, luckily, in the hands of Triton, and clearly he knows what to do with it, but Sentinels are still pushing the break. They're still breaking through the subway side, and looks like they're able to get their first points of round 2.
That's how strong that Bulldog is. You can literally turn a team on its head, but unfortunately Triton not going to be able to do so. And now they're making a push from the B street, but you have LethuL to deal with here. This player, I mean, LethuL, it seems like LethuL's kind of grown a passion for the game again. He's bringing a whole new energy to this tournament. I just love to see it in the way he's playing and his play style, very confident. This is what we like to see out of LethuL, the number 2 top 25 Halo player of all time.
New energy out of LethuL, and it's reflecting onto the entire Sentinels roster right now. A 26-17 lead, back in favor of Sentinels. But as I say that, 3 members do end up going down for Sentinels. Oxygen now coming in. SnakeBite forced to fight while 1 shot. The nade is gonna clear him out. Nemassist putting his 11th kill on the board, 11 assists to go along with it, and now that ball sitting towards the mid-map.
Now play close attention right now. Oxygen has all the power weapons in hand. How are they going to be able to utilize this to gain back this lead?
Stalker rifle in the hands of Triton. Nemassist was able to get away with that ball. And off a screen, we're starting to see Oxygen Esports get 1 kill. Now looking to go in for the second one. Numbers advantage so important. It's how Oxygen Esports are going to hold on to this setup here. And looks like 2 down for Sentinels. They're not able to find the break that they need. World 2 going down to 1 shot. World 2 ends up going down after the trade. Frosty able to break through. Triton ends up going down, and now Sentinels back in control, but only for moments.
Oxygen able to get the lead off of that. It's going to be 3 dead for Sentinels. They continue to slay Sentinels in a great way. And half of it has to do with those power weapons, but also the individual talent out of this Oxygen Esports squad. Nemassist 14, 11, and 10, having an incredible game thus far.
And they need that from Nemassist. Oxygen Esports need him to pop off. They need somebody to go toe-to-toe with the Slayers here on Sentinels. Even LethuL having 16 kills himself. Another big kill. Oxygen going 3 down. Boam now going to be by himself, but with that, Sentinels are getting valuable ball time and right back into the subway side. You see how hard it is for Oxygen to break this setup. They're right back into it.
Gotta highlight that kill by Frosty right there. Oxygen did have that drop ball, tried to utilize it, but Frosty holding the angle. That made that player step out of the drop shield and took advantage of that. That first kill is what broke the setup. And now they're able to get at least 20 seconds off this. Incredible job by Frosty and Sentinels.
Sentinels had that early lead and looks like they're right back to it. Like you said, 20-second lead and counting. 2 down for each of the members. This can be important for Oxygen as they put the third one down. That's going to leave SnakeBite by himself over toward the subway side. He's going to try to get this ball out, but the rockets are flying in. SnakeBite ends up getting caught, and it's Common going to be awarded the kill for that one. Nemassist doesn't want to grab a hold of that ball with the rockets. He has some slaying to do.
This is the second rocket that Oxygen has gotten in a row here. And that's kind of why this game has been so close. They're utilizing the control of those power weapons, those resources, and it's making Sentinels have a really hard time to break their setups. And of course, kills like that are gonna do big things for you as well, especially if you get a double kill for your trade. 3 go down once again for Sentinels.
Oxygen once again finding the kills that they need. Sentinels have to come off of respawn and look to regress once again. Trying with that ball in hands, not receiving the pressure just yet, but with Nemassist going down, that's going to force him to play this ball, reset, regain, or your teammates go down and now you're being stuck by yourself. Goes in for the Eagle Chow with the thrust. That works too, I guess.
It's finally great to see that Stalker rifle picked up. Unfortunately, because it was picked up, now LethuL has it in his hands. The back player, the player that's going to anchor and just do so much damage. This push is trying to be performed here, but when you have LethuL on C-back, what are you gonna do to stop this?
Love that angle created by LethuL from the long range, but it's not gonna be enough. Oxygen are still able to put Sentinels 3 down. LethuL breaks through, is holding down the bottom side of the subway, but doesn't have the numbers he's looking for. And in fact, he's collecting a couple of grenades. Frosty able to make it in. Triton still sitting up high. And I don't know if Triton knows the pressure's coming, but he knows now. And with that shotgun, takes down one, but wasn't ready for the second.
This is not good for Oxygen Esports right now. This is their tournament on the line. They're going to be moved to the elimination bracket, and it looks to be so as LethuL is going to get the last second on the board. Sentinels 3-0 Oxygen.
A sweep coming in out of the #1 seeded Sentinels. Can't say we're surprised there, but still got to give a hand clap to Oxygen Esports. I think they played well. I really do. It just so happens they happen to run into Sentinels, which nobody wants to do after that big win in Kansas City. Oxygen Esports now going to be dropped down. Sentinels move just 1 round closer to making it to the winners finals.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Oxygen is going to be able to play against the Pioneers. Pioneers also kind of struggling in this tournament as well. They were bottom 2 in their seed, so maybe Oxygen can kind of perform something against the Pioneers and move a little further in the tournament. Tournament is not over. They get moved to the elimination bracket, and like you said, they've got a lot of potential. Hopefully they can show that potential here, but we've got to talk about this Sentinels domination. 3-0 in live fire, 50-41 in Recharge Slayer, and an easy 2-0 in the streets. Great job by Sentinels to perform at the top of their ability and sweep Oxygen.